Greetings LEGO fans! For this week's build, I'm excited to bring to you from the Fairground Collection, the Haunted House. This is kit number 10273 and has 3,231 pieces. And also as a channel first, by the time this video comes out, this kit will not be available to the general public, as it's currently only available to pre-order for VIP members. And I'm also pretty excited about this kit because it's a large kit, not just in its piece count, but it stands at a good 68 centimeters or almost 27 inches tall, has 9 minifigures, and a whole bunch of cool interior scenes that should be spooky along with the haunted house theme, so that should be fun to explore. But before we get to any of that, of course, let's open the box, see what we have inside, and get this build underway. The Haunted House. Now that I've built it, had some time to look at it, really appreciate it, and do a little Googling, this is actually quite a bit more than I thought it was going to be. This set has two themes going for it. First is the elevator drop ride, decorated as a creepy haunted house at the fairground. And second, it's Baron von Baron's collection of rare antiquities from across the LEGO universe, amassed here, on display, for AFOLs around the world to enjoy. This is Manoir von Baron, a creepy looking two-story house with attic and tall tower. The haunted house look has been beautifully created with these dull green bricks, grey trim, and wood window frames, doors, and fences throughout. Even though there's a lot of it to assemble, I really like the detail along each of the corners here, where you go from these 1x1 bricks, these 1x1 plates over and over again down each corner. It was quite a bit of work to assemble, and lining up them all so they look really nice in the finished product was a little bit of extra work, but it's well worth it in the end because the finished product looks fantastic. Over in the front yard, we have 2 tombstones here. The larger one, we're assuming is Baron von Baron himself, and the small one has the initials of the set designer. Same as seen as in the Ship in the Bottle set. Making our way into the front entrance, we have a nice wheelchair ramp for a mobility reduced clientele. And just behind that, we have the 2 front doors, which by turning a little knob on the side, open in unison, which is a perfect effect for a creepy haunted house. Opening up the house to see the inside, we can truly see the collection Baron von Baron has amassed over his many years as the main antagonist from the adventure series and beyond. I'm going to talk about some of the items with more detail than the others, and that's really because there's a lot to cover in here, and I feel that it would just be a little too much for this video. But if you are curious, I do encourage you to go online and do some of your own research because all the little hidden gems in here are really quite impressive. Starting over on the right, by the front door, we have 6 candles burning in chandeliers just above the guests as they walk through. And above that, we have this altar, looking a little creepy here, with a skeleton hanging upside down, which the main theory is that this is Sam Sinister, the Baron's former partner, and this golden chalice next to a container that could be filled with blood. I don't know what's going on here, but it sounds like dark magic to me. Right next to that, we've got this cozy little fireplace, which looks a little odd when the building's split open like this, but as you close it up, you can see it's actually a cozy little fireplace with a little grate in front of it to keep you safe, and it continues all the way up to the top of the building where you have these 2 smokestacks out the chimney. Continuing on to the left, we find the ticket counter, where we have one of the 2 creepy twins waiting to sell you a ticket. Just above him, there's a skull with a gentleman's head and 2 black arms. Don't really know what's going on here. But above that, in the attic, a little bit of storage. Here we find 3 different relics from LEGO history, collecting some dust beneath this awesome cobweb. Moving on down, we come to the Egyptian part of the collection, starting with the Sphinx head, which is a recreation from the one from the old set 5978, matching up with a pair of Anubis dog heads above the organ, as seen in a variety of other sets. In the attic space next to that, we have this little blue gem under glass, which is completely unfamiliar to me. And just beneath that, we have a set exclusive, with this obelisk that spells LEGO in hieroglyphics. And in the final section, we have my favorite piece, this organ, which just looks awesome. Having a bunch of tall pipes in the back, little levers that you pull, 2 rows of keys, and the foot pedals. That's a nice amount of detail which I find really pleasing and really rounds out this haunted house look. But no haunted house would be complete without a creepy haunted painting. In here, we have Baron von Baron hanging on to the Rigo Ruby, which he stole from the Pharaoh Hotep. To awaken the Pharaoh's spirit, all you need to do is press the Manoir von Baron plaque in the front. Now for the main event, the ride. By turning this little crank in the back, you can send 2 little minifigures way up to the top of the tower, where the doors open wide so they can get a good view of the fairgrounds around just before they come plummeting down to their near deaths. But near death is only how it feels, because this ride is actually really well constructed to keep the minifigures safe and sound. There are 4 sets of high traction rubber wheels attached to a pair of flywheels that grab the elevator as come down and do a quick deceleration. And just before the elevator hits the ground, there's a pair of rubber stoppers on the bottom to make sure that final landing is nicely cushioned. And if your minifigure wants to capture that moment of sheer terror on their face, there's a little camera right up here in the far right corner when the house is opened up that, when you close it up, lines up perfectly with the viewing window right in the center of the elevator, which would capture screaming faces on their way down. And finally, over on the other side from the crank, there's a little place where you can plug in a Power Functions motor, so if you want to send your minifigures up and down the tower all day long, you can do so. In addition to all the nostalgic mini-builds showcased throughout the set, there's also a variety of bricks and other elements that haven't been printed for many, many years. So, if you've been collecting LEGO for a long time, you're going to have a lot of pleasant surprises as you go through this, as you discover those pieces that you haven't seen for decades. And now we have our 9 minifigures. I'm not only going to showcase the twin once, because, well, he's a twin and we don't need to see him twice. But we do have 9 minifigures added to the collection, and that's pretty great because this fairground is going to fit great into my LEGO city, and I need lots of minifigures to make this a bustling, happy place. And if you don't plan on keeping those assembled as I do, you're still going to love it because there's a lot of great bricks in here. I don't mean just in that there's over 3,000 pieces in here, so you're going to have a lot to work with. I mean, there's a lot of really large pieces in here. Those classic bricks, those 2x4s, those 2x2s, those bricks, those plates that you just don't get a lot of in a lot of the modern sets because everything's gotten so intricate. So if you do take this one apart, there's a lot to be done with it. As a playset, this is pretty great. Watching those little minifigures go up and down all day is a lot of fun. As a display piece, it's clear this one gets top marks. As a nostalgia set, this one is so far unmatched in my books, so across the board, this one is getting top marks and I love it, and I hope you get to enjoy it too.